Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. This is the Fujin. Thudtwit has shared a replay in the Kamikaze R, and now he's rounding this out with the Fujin. Is that correct, Thudtwit?
Yeah.
I thought
just
so.
flexing at this point.
Just flexing at this point. All three are the exact same carbon copies. Fun story for those of you guys who don't know Warships lore, World of Warships lore. These three were released at a time when the Minekaze was tier 5 and had two choices between torpedoes ranges. One was 7 kilometer and the other was 10 kilometer. Wargaming in its infinite wisdom decided that there were too many battleships that were sailing in straight lines and getting torped from 10 kilometers away at tier 5. So they removed the 10 kilometer torpedoes. What that did was force people to learn how to use concealment properly and basically sneak up to people with the crazy, 5.4 kilometer concealment that the Fujin Kamikaze has, and torpedo something with 7 kilometers. It's got fast reload of torps. It's got a lot of things going for it, and for some odd reason my HUD isn't showing now. So it's got a lot of stuff going for it. The other big thing is with the concealment, the engine boost, and everything like that. It's just a great assassin boat. It really is. The ship,
a relic of the past where IJN torpedoes were allowed to be good.
Yeah. So wargaming, like I said, they nerfed Minekaze. Everybody got really good at killing things with Minekaze. At about the same time, they released these three different boats, the Fujin, the Kamikaze R, and the Kamikaze. And then people were like, oh, cool. Now I can go be an assassin in a premium ship and earn even more credits. Yay. So that's what they did. And then we saw them, we saw cases where they just end up dominating games to the point where Wargaming stopped selling them, and then of course they nerfed the tech tree line torpedoes because they can't nerf things on premium ships, and then they did the tech tree rebalancing, rework, all that good stuff. So anyways, so that's the Fujin. Great ship, very good torpedo stealth assassin. And Thudtwit has shared this game. I've given him feedback on a couple of games already, so he's basically showing that he can take the information to heart and whatnot. So let's take a look at his setup here. He's got main battery mod 1, main damage control system mod 1, and aiming systems. So
This is kind of a fail.
Yeah.
I haven't changed those over yet.
So that's one of the lessons he hadn't learned yet. And that would be to make...
I did it with the Kamikaze, not with the Fujin.
You just forgot.
Yes.
So you definitely want to go for engine room protection to keep your engines alive. If you get detected, you don't want to lose your engines. You want to be able to run away. So engine room protection is huge. Now, if you love these ships so much that you play them like 5 times a day, it's probably worth investing the coal to get the engine boost modification for it, because that's a straight up buff to your engine boost and allows you to relocate quicker, get on flanks, etc., faster. But at the very least, you want to pick up engine room protection. And in the third slot, your torpedoes are your life. So you might as well ensure that your torpedo tubes won't break and blow up. Okay?
Top speed is actually not negligible anyway, because the torpedoes are so short range.
Mm-hmm.
You do have a little bit of a problem if your target is trying to run away.
Yes.
There is a decent chance if you try to stealth torp them that the target will be 7 kilometers away before the torpedoes reach them.
Right.
If you make your torpedoes a little bit faster, you reduce that, and you have a better chance the torpedoes actually reaching the target before it gets out of the 7 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's not these are big, but it's a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed. So, but the big thing is you want to keep these torpedo tubes protected. So you've got 68 knots right now. Pop this on instead, and what are you at? You gain 3 and a 0.4 knots. Okay? That has an impact over things like your reaction time. 7.3 seconds. Let's remove the... let's go back to this for a second. And now you're at 7.67. So that does cut out your chance to an enemy to react to it and stuff. But the big thing again, you want to keep your torpedo tubes alive. Is this a special, Captain?
Yes.
Okay. Which one?
Reizo. Suzuki Reizo.
Either the Suzukis are really good choices for destroyers because you get the buffed survivability expert. It comes in handy. Alternately, you can go Yamamoto if you've got Yamamoto on a tech tree ship that either uses the same captain build or is set to a tech tree of a different class. So you say you have him on the Yamato, or you have him on the Zao. I don't know why you put him on a Zao, but okay. Or you put him on Hakuryu or Sekuryu. But otherwise, the Suzukis are good. So I'd say Yamamoto is the best because buffed preventive maintenance, and if you get a Kraken, and frankly at tier 5, there's a lot of opportunities for Krakens, especially with all the bots. Yamamoto is hilarious with that. But Suzuki is perfectly fine because of that. Why do I keep dropping negatives? I don't know what that means, Duckman. So anyway, you've got preventative maintenance, last stand, survivability expert, concealment, and radio location. Perfect. So now you can go and hunt your targets, and you know if a destroyer is your target or somebody else based off of your radio location point. And you've got the core build, which is great. We're going to go next after this, Thudtwit.
I don't remember what the recommendation was. I have the video just in case.
So, a lot of players might be tempted to go Adrenaline Rush, but the thing about these ships specifically, these are ships where you pretty much never want to be spotted, and if you're playing right or, don't have carriers, you'll never get spotted. So if you get really good at not, being spotted and using your concealment and stuff, you want to buff your torpedo reload. Absolutely want to go fill the tubes next. Get those torps firing even faster.
I'm not even sure if I agree with that. Because the torps are already so quick with 47 seconds as well. Like, you're basically shoving off 4 seconds of reload with that skill.
So? That's 4 more seconds that you're torpedoing something that's in your range. That's 4 less seconds that somebody has to get out of your range. You get a battleship that's 6 kilometers away, you're going to hit them with another salvo 4 seconds sooner. I mean, to me, that just jives so well with this ship.
It's okay. Like, it's definitely okay, but there is an argument to be made that you don't necessarily need it.
Okay.
And you could go with something that gets you around the map even quicker, so
like Swift and
you
Silence.
Can keep up with ships. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yep, Swift and Silence is a good choice as well. Oh look, you can do both of them.
You can do both of them. I actually like Swift Fish's tier 2 skill as well on this ship, just because of that 7 kilometer short range to give targets less of a chance to run outside that 7 kilometers. And if you want the Swift and Fish, Swift Fish, you can't take the reload and the Swift and Silence anymore.
Correct. So then you have to make a decision. So basically, Thudtwit, I think it comes down to what do you want to get out of it. So let's say we've got this on, and let's put Swift Fish on. What is your torpedo speed going to be? Almost 75. Almost 75. So that extra 5%. Why did it not update?
Because you have it.
No, it's just taking. Yeah, it's taking forever for my browser to refresh. It might be my PC just being derpy. When I disconnected the internet and connected again, like everything just took a dump for a while. So, anyway, so you're talking about changing what 2.5 knots, a little bit over 2.5 knots faster. Warships is close today's drop. Sorry to hear that. Okay, 3.5. Cthulhu with the raid.
Out of these 3 skills, you basically come down to choose 2 to your liking. Like, nothing here is wrong of these 3. It comes down to personal preference.
There's not much else that you're really going to want to use in this ship. You can make the argument for Consumable Specialist because it gets your smoke and your engine boost available that much sooner. That's not a bad pick at a 1-pointer. The turret traverse on these ships are glacial, but if you're using your guns, you're either doing it wrong, you're about to die, or you're trying to finish off a target to where you're only going to shoot them once. and that'll pretty
The
much
turret
be it.
traverse isn't bad. I mean,
Yeah.
taking the turret traverse isn't bad
Right.
because, like, you will probably go up regularly against other tier 5 destroyers like minikazes or other kamikazes who have the same concealment. So getting your guns on targets and fight those is not a bad idea. So I'd
Right.
probably take the grease the gears if you have one leftover point.
That's really only if you've got the point available, and it comes down to Thudtwit. By the time you get to this point, decide: do I want to be faster at the expense of main battery? Which again, you're not using your main battery much in this particular ship. This is this particular ship. Keep that in mind too. You know, do I want the extra torpedoes? Do I want the flood chance? And I need to pick two of these. And do I care about my turret reverse? Do I care about the utility of the smoke and engine boost? Again, it just comes down to personal preference at that point. Okay.
Right.
And then for signals, you've got anti-det, fire reduction, both fire, flood chance, speed, consumables, and smoke. Fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this at all. I think you're good there.
Yeah. If you want
Okay.
to save, you can probably drop the smoke flag. It's
Yeah.
not the best for IGN destroyers if you're short on smoke flags or want to save some credits.
Yep, that's the only one that I would look to drop out of. And Dutch, thank you very much for 47 months. You're 1 month away from 4 years. You want to talk about reliable support, Dutch. As a streamer, I'm reliable, but as a viewer, as a supporter, you are reliable. So thank you so much for nearly 4 years of supporting me. It means a lot, dude. So I really do appreciate that. And you can see the Frosty Tools bot and what they said on there. I'm not going to read it because we're doing a replay now, but all right. Sorry to hear that, Dutch. Like I said, you missed out on what, 9 flags. So it'll be okay. Get it figured out for next weekend. Okay, so this is
looks like a Q dump, huh?
6 to 5, and this is indeed a Q dump. Yep. This is a random battle. Kamikaze Twins and Fujin is one of those ships where you really don't care too much about what tier you're at. Actually, you almost prefer to be in a tier 6-7 game because that's more XP you get from killing things.
And you're still gonna be the stealthiest ship in the matchmaking range.
Exactly. These ships, I mean, they really hit like their tier 6.5s or something. It's just such a mismatch in tiering.
I think your biggest problem here could be getting spotted by the submarine if it surfaces like in 3 kilometers of you or something. And
Sure.
then you get shot down by a Farragut or something. Other than that, yeah, you just gotta be careful that you don't take a random torpedo with the amount of destroyers that are there.
Yep, there's 4 destroyers in this game. Now you're firing your torpedoes based off your radio location, and you're turning away. Grunty mentioned subs. Most likely the other sub is mirrored, the Cochalot, so it's on the other side over there. So for now, hopefully you don't have to deal with the sub.
Would have waited a little bit with the torpedoes here so they actually reach the full cap distance. Right now they're gonna run out right before they reach the end of the cap, and a lot of destroyers just like to go right in the cap and stay at the edge.
So what Grunty is saying is, if you look at the mini-map, you can see you've got the 7-kilometer range for your torpedoes. Right now, that 7-kilometer range just about reaches the edge of the sea cap. So that's what we're talking about there, okay?
Okay.
And I do agree with
got
Grunty.
I got an ad, so I'm looking at a very small screen.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So again, you want the circles to overlap, essentially. You want your circle to be farther than that small circle there.
Right.
Now, your CCAP is not contested, so good, you held on your torps. I was going to say, there's no need to dump torpedoes out again just yet. And sounds like the drops have now cut out. I'm sorry to hear that, you all. But like I said, you're missing out on 9 flags. It's not the end of the world. Oh, look, the Farragut, because you outspot him. Now, Are you still in ads, Thudtwit?
No, that
What?
ended.
No, it's over.
Okay. So you saw the Farragut, you turned, but you focused on firing your torpedoes first. In my opinion, that's the wrong order. You need to react to the ship first, turn your ship, slow down, and then fire your torpedoes. Your concealment is 5.4. You saw the Farragut at 6 point something. So slow down. Slowing down decreases the speed at which you close. Turn out. Slowing down also gives you the ability to pop your smoke and immediately vanish. Okay? And then you worry about torpedoes. The other thing I would say is you want to be able to smoke at about 5.6, 5.5 kilometer. If possible, you don't want to be detected. Okay?
I
That is
disagree here.
your lifeblood. Why?
Because the enemy cruiser that is with that Farragut can't shoot. He went too far behind the island. And you have a Farragut here with you.
Uh-huh.
Like, you actually want that gunfight here because you're basically fighting 2v1.
I mean, here's the deal. You don't know where that Nuremberg is going. You don't know if he turned and is behind the Farragut now and trying to get behind smoke. You don't know if he's going to just YOLO around the island and catch you on the backside. So, to me, I'm always in the habit of safety first.
Okay,
That's how
you
I
can
play.
slow down and get ready to smoke. But I
Yeah.
would only start the smoke if it's necessary, as long as it isn't. Because if you smoke not right now here too, the Farragut goes dark. It most
Okay.
likely, unless he leaves the smoke and goes forward. But
Let's
let's
continue the
assume
replay.
he's not complete.
Twitch Twitch Ice Deadeye. Don't worry, you can get it tomorrow during the Warships main stream. Now, if you're going to stay out of your smoke, absolutely do engine boost. That is the right thing to do. As you can see, the Farragut knows that you're there, is going to turn away and run immediately. Well, thank you very much for that.
I was trying to use either my smoke or my gears to get me out of trouble.
Think of engine gears as if I'm going to be shot at and I don't want to smoke or can't, you engine boost.
Right.
Educated Tiger, I'm kind of jealous because I had to go to bed early so I could be up at ridiculous o'clock so I can cast. Okay, here. You know the Farragut is out in the open. Your Farragut is out in the open. If you want to use your guns, stop and smoke. And do it before the Farragut sees you again, if you can help it.
Right.
You actually have a convenient option here with the island. But anyway, go ahead.
I was just kind of trying to keep hidden, and I kept getting spotted, which really bothered me.
Well, the Farragut had a death wish. So, like I said, you got a good chance there to stop and actually smoke and use your guns. Are you going to kill it? Probably not. But together with you and everybody else, yes. Okay, now you're using your smoke. You should be slowing down if you plan to smoke. By the time you get... You could use your guns too, by the way. He's dead already.
You
man.
actually didn't even need that smoke because as soon as his Farragut is dead, you're gonna be dark again. Nothing is in your range.
Meanwhile, Kabuki torpedo. Interesting.
Yeah, that's when I noticed him. I was like, whoa.
Now, the
I kinda
Farragut...
changed my tactics then.
I was just going to bring this up. By smoking, you also told the Farragut you're going to stop there. So it's good that you backed up. At the same time, it's bad that you backed up because good players will anticipate you to reverse. Like, if I saw you stopping like that and smoking, I'd fire behind you.
I'm backing into the cap.
I see that. And your Farragut is dying. The problem is the Farragut has blown his smoke up, and so you can't see the Nuremberg anymore. This is a very dangerous position for you to be in. Also, your engine boost and smoke are both on cooldown. If the Nuremberg was charging, he's not, he's on the line, but I want you to think, if he was charging the Farragut with his hydro going, you'd be the next one dead probably.
Yeah.
Because you're reversing far too much. If you're going to reverse into the cap, fine. But stop at the edge of the cap. Don't keep going. Don't get closer to the thing that's going to kill you.
I was kind of backing up to turn around at this point because I
Okay.
was trying to come in behind the Nuremberg, using
So
the island as a shield.
let me ask you this. Why are you going to sell out your Mutsu then?
I was just trying to not get detected mainly, and
I understand.
I wasn't thinking about that.
So, and that's something that I just want to point out. The decision to go north is the decision to abandon your Mutsu as well. There's two things that abandoning your Mutsu will do. Well, three. Okay. One, you won't be spotting the Nuremberg for him, which right now you could be if you were dipping south instead of north. Two, the Mutsu is pretty much by himself at the mercy of the Fubuki. He's got to hope that he's got really good turnouts and stuff like that. And then three, if you head south, there's always the chance that you'll take a random Fubuki torp. So it's dangerous too. It's not. I'm not saying like that's the only decision. If you're going to head north, then your decision is not the Nuremberg and get behind the Nuremberg. Your decision is to go hunt the Arizona. You understand the difference?
That was what tactics I changed later. I decided I'm going to try to get up and shoot it. So
Okay.
well, torp it, I should say.
Okay. You didn't see any Auroras educated? Sorry to hear that. So yeah, going for the Arizona absolutely can work. And honestly, it's probably what I would do in this point as well, unless I was divisioned with that Mutsu or I was, communicating with the Mutsu and that sort of thing. I'd probably, try to go back and work with him.
You have to stay ahead of the Arizona though.
Yep, you're going
If
the
you
wrong
go
way.
behind it, you run into the problem with your torpedoes not having the range.
Yep.
And that's not even counting for you possibly getting trapped between the Nuremberg and it.
Yep. Now you're fortunate that the Arizona is a slower boat, but you're absolutely right. Now you're not targeting him. Maybe it's a replay bug and we're not seeing the white line. I'm playing with some extra mods for the tournament, guys, so maybe that's screwing it up. But I'm pausing it here for a second.
I was
Yes?
running into a problem with it not targeting, so I had to switch to guns to get a target and then back.
X to brake, X to relock. You should be able to do that in torpedo mode too.
Okay.
Right here, assuming that you're following the white line, and if you're not following a white line or don't have it, there's really no reason for you to dump the torps. But if you look at where the Arizona's going and you look at where the torps meet, if the Arizona goes straight, you will hit him because he's within range. But you going this way also puts you closer to the Nuremberg. So I agree with Grunty. You should be matching his direction and approaching him the other way. That gives you more time to get on his side. The other thing, too, is as you keep going like this, if the Arizona turns northward, now you're shooting him in the butt. That's a very small profile, lower chance of hitting your target. Okay?
I did not expect the Nuremberg to turn into me. That's what kind of caught me by surprise.
Also, if you torp from behind, you give the target more chance to react to the torpedoes because, and the ship keeps moving and the torpedoes get spotted at a fixed distance until the actual time they impact, it's amplified. Whereas if they come from the front, you reduce the reaction time.
Correct. Now, fortunately for you, the Arizona turned south into the torps. You should be engine boosting here. Nuremberg is near you. Engine boost and turn due north as quickly as possible. You might actually get out of being spotted. But if he spots you, then the Arizona is going to immediately react to you, and the Nuremberg's probably going to react to you as well. Now you just pop both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so your smoke is telling him to pop his hydro and he can kill you. Assuming he's paying attention to you, and he's not, so you're very fortunate there. Chaos, I got no idea what this whole, what the Asus ROG stuff is. Oh, look, the Mutsu died that you sold out. He's turning. Worst time to fire off your torpedoes. He's turning. Your torps have like a 0% chance of hitting him. You have to wait until your target settles in on a course. And again, you're lucky he decided to turn back into your torpedo arc. So there you go. So Chaos, yeah, I think that's only on the Warships main channel. I don't even know how they're doing that. Does anybody know? Did they say anything about that? 2 torpedo hits.
Oh.
So this is fine right now. Look at your target. Look at your target. He's turning again to the right. So you want to be aiming ahead. I wouldn't dump them all in the same line unless the guy never turns. Then dump him or is AFK. If you want to get a flood on him again, you force him to DCP with the 2 floods. You want him to flood again. Here, I would actually slow down. See what the Arizona does. If he turns northward, then you can match his turn. But you moving like this right now is too fast. And see why? If you turn north, now you have to turn south again just to get to him. It doesn't matter, though. He had 5 of your torpedoes, because, of course, he turns right back in and takes 2 perma floods, so... There you go. It's in the article, but you said before watching Watch channels, you mute the volume, so I'm not sure if they talked about it. Okay, fair enough. I don't know either. There's usually tons of people asking on that, and then they spend so much time trying to answer those questions. So that's why I was curious. I know the article has something about these special giveaways. I just don't know what they are. For these torps to hit, you have to hope the Nuremberg drives straight at you.
I think that's what I was thinking he might be trying.
Okay.
So
Here's a better question. Why are you driving straight at him?
my turn. I'm not turning like you suggested I should be doing, which is making a turn and then torping after that. Or was it slowing?
Mm-hmm.
Turn and slow, and yeah.
Because he's very close. And the big thing is with his hydro, which let's hold this down, and 5.5 kilometer. So technically, he could hydro you outside of spotting range. Right? He could spot you at 5.5 away. And with hydro, whereas he would need to be 5.4 away to spot you. Okay, those torpedoes have like zilch chance of hitting. Zilch. He's moving away. As Grunty points out, these torpedoes reach 7 kilometers. Look at the mini-map and look at where your torpedoes are going to hit. Now, you've already turned back in again, but you're talking about here. So that's outside of the circle. That's outside of the torpedo range. Those torps will not hit. Three items, handheld monitor, laptop. Gotcha. I just don't know how to get, like, how to win them. So. Check that in a bit. Alright, well, that Fubuki that you never went after killed your Mutsu, and I don't know, maybe is going after your Koch a lot? Hard to tell. At this point, you might as well just go to sea.
Basically just following the Nuremberg and staying out of range.
You can open up the guns now. He's dead anyway.
Yeah, you if the Nuremberg keeps going in that direction, like, you're never gonna get your torps off again.
Right.
Like, zero chance these torps ever gonna reach the Nuremberg.
Right.
This is the problem why you don't want to end up behind enemies. If they are smart and realize you're behind them, you're not gonna torp them anymore.
Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so important in these ships. You have to be very reactive to courses of enemies and that sort of thing. You being forced to turn away from the Nuremberg made him have the easy way to run away from you, right? Gave him the opportunity.
The Arizona didn't realize it. He tried to turn towards you.
Yeah.
And that was his demise.
Mm-hmm. So you're not even going to get in the cap. This is going to be a dead Fubuki.
Right.
And you got the win. So overall, I'd say a few things to be thinking about is, your maneuvering. Always, in my opinion, always safety first, and then from there move on, especially early in the game. Um, and then when it comes to torpedoes, take your time. You don't need to fire them every time they're available because you're gonna miss a ton of them. You launched 48 and hit with 7. So,
I
your
don't
that
luck
care
checking a
was
about
lot.
torpedo hit rate in the like. This is always gonna be a bit bad. Look bad here because like you fire so many torpedoes in this ship because the reload is so low,
Mm-hmm.
and you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna miss a lot of them. Like torpedo hit rate is kind of overrated, especially in ships with short reload.
I agree, but at the same time, the way I look at it is we saw it in the replay more than just this, but the number of times that you just dump torpedoes and hope for something to work, like you can stagger
This
them. You
is
can fire one and then wait 5, 10
this is true.
seconds, fire another one. You can fire them in more of a wall so that there's a wider range that they can hit the target. Better chance of getting a flood or something like that. Like I said, you got very lucky that Arizona just literally turned right into those torps and just ate them all. But,
yeah.
I think the early game was really messy, to be honest. Like you said,
Mhm.
you wanted to stay out of detection, but you actually did a quite bad job at it. Like you get spotted by
Mhm.
a Farragut like 2 or 3 times, which has like
Mhm.
2 kilometers, not two, like 1.5 kilometer. No, he was actually spotted at 7.6. So like 2 kilometers worse concealment than you have.
Yep.
And the Nuremberg also spotted you. Like I don't know if it's on your UI if you don't see the actual distance to your target because you don't have the stat enabled,
Mhm.
or if you're just not respecting it enough and misjudge how quickly the gap actually closes.
And that's
Yeah.
another reason why I said as soon as you see somebody that you're gonna bump into, my instinct is to slow down. Like immediately. I see, like right here, I see the Farragut. I'm not detected. He's coming straight for me. I'm slowing down. And the other thing is, once you get more comfortable in the ship, don't be afraid to use your smoke and shoot a couple times from it, and just smack some things. You get a little bit extra damage. You might get a kill or two out of it. Um, but that's a more advanced thing. Focus for right now on just your positioning, not getting spotted, and properly hunting, especially battleships that set your prey.
I can definitely see myself kind of going in towards them too much and not trying to keep invisible more.
Mm-hmm. Another thing you can do if you get in the habit is driving at 3/4 speed instead of full speed, and then just using those whenever and that way you can slow down quicker. And if you need to speed up, you can speed up and do so. But that might help get you not get you into trouble as quickly. Yeah, of course, Andy. You can be here whenever you want. I don't care. Why wouldn't you be allowed here? Is Raptors doing it too? Doesn't matter, dude. We're doing this for charity. It has nothing to do with, I'm better than you, you're better than me. Doesn't matter. Appreciate the ask, but yeah, you're fine. Don't worry. All right. Anything else for this replay, or are we good with it?
I think we're good.
Okay. Well, then, thank you, of course, for sending that replay in. I'm gonna write
Oh,
that
thank
one
you.
down.